Hi guys. I just wanted to pop in real quick and give a little disclaimer about this video. This was an off-the-cuff conversation that me and my friend had about Halo Reach and our grievances with it. It was totally spur of the moment. We just decided to record ourselves talking about Halo Reach because we just wanted to get a conversation going. And we had no notes prepared, no script. We didn't even know we were gonna do it until we were doing it. So the audio is a little messy. The entire thing's a little messy. We try to keep it concise, but there is points where we stumble over our words, or there's a lot of ums and likes and stuff like that, and we do go on a couple weird tangents. But we try to keep it. We tried to keep it a little concise, but it is a little messy overall. Especially the audio wise. We did stream it on Twitch, so the audio isn't perfect. It isn't like a studio perfection video. So keep that in mind while watching it. All right. We tried our best. We hope you enjoy it. And I hope to see you in the next one, all right? Enjoy. Hello, everybody on YouTube. Today I wanted to discuss a game that is near and dear to my heart, and that's Halo Reach. It is a fantastic game. The custom game is really good, and I played it back when I was really younger, and it means a lot to me. And I still play it now. I have a lot of fun with it. Um, and I met a lot of my good friends, like all my good friends I've met on Halo Reach. It is crazy. However, it has a lot of issues. And no one really talks about the issues because everyone that talks about Halo Reach talks about how much they love it and how it's really great and how the campaign's really great and the lore is really great and all that bullshit. And they talk about how just there's no issues with it at all. And it's really funny because there's a lot of issues with Halo Reach, like a lot of issues. I mean, I love it, like sincerely, but when I was playing Halo Reach, I mostly played custom games, or we did. Um, and but campaign does the campaign's probably I would argue it's probably the worst in the my Halo 5 exists. It's the second worst in the series. Anyways, I brought my friend here with me so we can discuss it because we both got similar opinions about how we don't like Halo Reach. Most of the campaign. However, the gameplay in Halo Reach is kind of bad too, not gonna lie to you. I mean, like if you're gonna go by modern Halo standards, like a modern Halo game, which goes like starts from Reach going on until Halo Infinite, like which game like plays the best, I would say Halo Reach is like definitively in the past. Like it's in the very back for like the sprint Halo games, in my opinion, and gameplay wise. I don't know. Like I don't really like the arm. I don't like armor abilities in Reach or 4. I think they're stupid. Maybe they incorporated them in Halo 5 because I don't know. I think they're just they slow. I don't know. I can't explain why I don't like them. I just don't like them. I think they slow everything down. To be honest with you, TBH. Um, but anyways, we're gonna talk about the campaign a little bit. Uh, why is it bad?
Okay, so uh, probably my biggest issue with the campaign, probably the biggest issue with the campaign, in my opinion, or at least one of the biggest issues, depending on your point of view, is the characters. Now everyone obviously says, "Oh, all the characters are iconic. They're all so well written. They're so blah 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 blah." They're not. Halo Reach itself fundamentally is a very linear, very uh, relatively short game. Like I'm not saying it's like a 4 hour long, game, but I'm not saying it's like a 4 hour long story, but it's not a long campaign, and we don't get to see these characters that much. I will not deny these characters are iconic, because if you've played Halo, you know George, Emil, Kat, June, you know all of them. But we don't actually know them.
Well, you bring up a fundamental point about that, and the main reason is, like you mentioned, we don't know them. With Halo, the original trilogy, we got to meet all these characters, and even though like them dying didn't really depends on how you feel. Johnson and Miranda dying in Halo 3, maybe they didn't hit as well as you think they would have. Like maybe they're not like, they're not like iconic character like deaths like fucking like Aerith and Final Fantasy VII, or people that have died in other video games out there, but you still got to know these characters, especially Johnson and Chief and Arbiter and throughout a couple games. Like you built up the knowledge to know them and Reach, you don't know these characters at all. And the issue with Reach too is not just you don't know the characters, they don't have any personality. I don't know what it is. I mean, they have personality in Halo Reach. George does. They all you know what they are, right? Cat's like the sassy, like Latina, for example.
Cat's
But
the
like
yeah, she's the sassy. I think she's Slavic of some sort,
but
but
she's like
she's
the
supposed to be
sassy
the
foreign
sassy,
chick with like an
intelligent.
yeah. They're almost like
Yeah,
just like what do you call them? You said
stereotypes.
stereotypes. Thank you. One note, like the jock or the nerd or something like that's how that's how they feel to me. Like they feel like just classes of people. They don't really have much personalities to them. They don't really shine as much in the game at all. And even when you're playing through the game and you're playing along, you're fighting alongside them, they don't exactly like. It doesn't feel like you're fighting alongside them. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to bring up is that everyone talks about how and everyone talks about them and how much we fight alongside them, but there's only really one mission in the entire game where you're fighting alongside every single member of Noble Team,
Yeah.
which is the very first one. All the other missions, you're only fighting alongside select members of Noble Team. Like a Long Night of Solace, you're only fighting alongside George. Fucking, I don't remember the name of the mission off the top of my head. Obviously, the fucking night mission, you're only fighting with June,
Nightfall.
which makes sense. Yeah, Nightfall, which makes sense. It makes perfect sense because it's a stealth mission, and June is a stealth scout operator. So
Yeah.
that makes sense for him. That makes sense for his character, and that makes sense why you
But
would work alongside him, being a Spartan who also worked in the Black Ops operations. That being Noble Six, but uh, you don't work alongside any other members of the team. You get to work alongside each. You get to work alongside some of them, and
but
that's it.
what I'm trying to get at too is that even when you work beside one of them, for example, you you don't feel I don't feel connected to them personally like I did. I was gonna bring up Mass Effect as an example but Mass Effect is a whole different game as an RPG, so you're gonna be connections to characters are closer anyways because you have dialogue with them that you get to choose stuff like that. So my example is gonna have another Halo game, which is Halo One. Uh, I feel by the end of Halo One, I feel closer to Cortana like actually like she's and funny about Cortana too is that like she's gone for 3 missions. You really get her to the end of the game again. You know what I mean? Like she's slotted in. Maybe it's
Yeah,
2 missions. I can't remember. No, it's 3. No, it is 2. Yeah, because Library and then Guilty Spark or whatever. But you're with Guilty. She's away from you for 2 missions, and then you get her back. But you still feel like you fought alongside, even though she's in your head. Like you feel like she's like a big character, and you fought alongside her by the end of the game. Like you feel close, a connection to her. But I just don't feel the same way with Noble Team. I don't know. They just feel like blank slate personalities, and they don't have much interesting dialogue while in the game. I mean, they got cutscenes, but like while you're in the game with them, I don't know. I don't really notice like their dialogue when they say shit to
pretty
you.
much every single character in Halo Reach, even all the members of Noble Team, they don't have any specialized AI. I mean, I guess the
No,
most specialized AI of Noble Team is George being the only AI that can carry a machine gun and also sprint while carrying that machine gun. Other than that, they all
the only
basically
AI that can
behave and talk the
pull a warp
exact
on a
same
ship.
like AI.
Uh,
Even fucking Emil, who is the fucking supposed to be the close quarters expert, rarely operates in close quarters.
yeah. I just
Hell, half the time they're a standing fucking walking target and they just give you an order. They just tell you to do something and you
throw a
just do
grenade,
it and then that's it.
kill that grunt.
Game over. Mission
Yeah,
over.
they're basically like Marines, the Marine NPCs. They're the same dialogue function, the same NPC function. But that's why my fundamental
Gameplay
issue is that
wise,
like you don't like feel. Here's my deal: is that there's a lot of games out there that you don't feel connected to the characters, and that's fine. My issue is, all the Halo community get up, get a huge boner Hillary to be like, man, I'm so sad when Kat died and when George sacrificed himself and when Carter sacrificed. Man, man, it makes me so sad. I just don't get it, you know. And I'm a huge Halo fan, and I get emotional at games, stuff like Red Dead 2 and Cyberpunk. Like, there's games that do get me emotional. It's not like I'm stoic, but I
We
just don't shed a tear for Halo
we
Reach.
actually just went through the Space Marine campaign, Space Marine 2, and we
Yeah,
went through that together. I played as Titus. He
I
played
was
as
was
Gabriel or whatever his name was.
Blake Gladriel or whatever. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it was whatever.
and there is a very clear sense of character. There's a very clear character for every single person. We knew for everyone we played with. We knew we knew what they were about. We knew their loyalties. Like we could gauge just how they interacted, how they felt about each other, their
Yeah,
history together, what
and by
they
the end
felt.
of the game, when there was camaraderie ship there between everyone, and they grew in the game together. You know, because a lot of the characters in the Space Marine campaign, Titus and Galadriel and whatever, they all fought each other, the three characters, back and forth, didn't trust each
Yeah,
other.
they
And by
had
the
a
end of the
big
camp,
argument and
by the
everything.
by the end of the campaign, they trust each other, and it's really like a camaraderie ship and brothership and whatever, and you really feel it. In when the noble team sacrificed themselves in Halo Reach when Carter sacrificed himself for George, I don't feel anything. I don't feel like, man, this guy I fucking fought alongside would died or whatever. And that might be the consequence of Halo Reach being like a linear campaign, so it doesn't have a lot of time to like build the characters up. It only has the campaign overall is only like what, like 8 hours. Fast, you're playing on easy and going fast, so they don't
Yeah,
have a
pretty
lot of
much.
time to
I'd say it's like between 6 to 8 hours
so they don't have a
total.
lot of time to like build up character. You know, it's not like Red Dead 2 or where it's a 70-hour long story where you could actually spend time with the people. But you know, neither is Space Marines. I mean, Space Marine 2, the campaign is only like what?
Space Marine always only has 6 missions.
Yeah.
It's like each mission is like an hour long, so it's like at most an hour long. So the entire
Basically the
game
same
overall is
length.
like 4 or 5 hours.
It's like Halo Reach on easy.
Yeah,
So I don't get how it's so maybe my defense right there doesn't even work then because Space Marines is the same length and I still felt, you know, next to them for. And again, this is all opinionated, obviously. I can't speak for everybody. You know, maybe people feel differently. There's people out there that probably didn't feel anything when Arthur Morgan died, or spoiler alert, he dies in Red Dead 2 for playing through it. But uh, you know, or something like that, or you know, Johnny Silverhand, all this kind of stuff. You know, people might have not felt that way about other characters, and I'm not speaking for everyone, so I don't want to do that. But I just don't see the whole hype around it. Especially Kat, man. She really just. I'm happy that she died. She can't drive. I know that's a big meme in the community, but it's true. She cannot drive, bro. The amount of time she drove me off a cliff, bro. Like I'm happy she fucking passed away.
I completely understand what the writers for Reach were doing because they wanted to depict that in war anyone could die at any time without warning. You know, not everybody gets to go out in like this big blaze glaze of glory.
This big.
Uh,
No one ever
but
gets glazed.
no one ever gets glazed in war. But
That's what the Navy says.
there's so many other ways they could have done it because the way she died in the game raises so many questions that the community is still trying to figure out to this day because the way she died just makes no sense. It literally could have even been, oh, she just wasn't wearing her helmet and she got shot. Like she got careless. Like that could be a good little character moment. Oh, there's a big thing going on. She's getting a bit flustered. She's getting a bit distracted, being glass. So she's kind of shaken up a bit. She forgets to put on her helmet. They start running towards the bunker, and then she gets shot. That would be a good
Why do they get their helmets off in the
moment.
first place?
That's
Like
another thing. Is that why are
they're
they taking
they're
their helmets off
they're like
in an active war zone?
they're in a high combat area where shit's going down. You think that they'd be have their first of all they should have their helmets on and their shields up at all times. It's crazy to let their guard down like that. All of them. It doesn't make any sense. You know, Chief. You never catch Chief off guard. I know Chief's like an elite Spartan, but that motherfucker is always ready to fight. His shields are up even in cryo chamber. He's like Doom guy.
Both
He-
Mendez
he's
and
a-
fucking Kurt would have their heads if he knew they were just sitting around in basically the center of one of the biggest war zones on the planet with their helmets off or in their shields down.
it's kind of like Marvel movies when like, or I guess not a superhero movie when they have like the character like Deadpool like take his like mask off because they want to show the actor off because they spent like $10 million on the $10 million on the actor. So like, okay, well, we spent a lot of money on this fucking actor. Might as well show his face, obviously. So we'll take the fucking. That's why they did it in the Halo. Took his helmet off. But that's different because those are famous actors, and this is a video game where there's no actor for it. Like in reality, I guess there was like now they hire named actors to like be the characters. Like Johnny Silverhand is fucking it's Keanu Reeves,
Yeah,
but like back not in 2010, they're just sculpted characters. So it didn't make any sense for them to have their helmets off. I just didn't understand. I think because I want to make it more personable. But my thing about that is, Bungie made Chief. Here's my deal: is Chief was really personable even without seeing his face. He doesn't have a lot of lines in the first couple Halo games compared to the later ones, like in 4 and 5 and 6 or Infinite. He has a lot of lines. He speaks a lot. So, but still has a lot of personality in the first three games, and even Halo 2, which he's barely in. And you still feel personable to him, without him having this huge personality or with his helmet off or whatever. So I don't know why they had to take their helmets off to like make them more like humanized. I don't know. It just feels weird to me. Doesn't make any sense lore wise. Doesn't make any sense in general with the game. It just kind of feels like insulting. Like, man, you're not gonna feel close to these characters unless we show their faces off. You know what I mean? Like, just
yeah.
unconfident.
And one might say I could see a response in the comments right now that that was a good that they did that to show that these aren't normal Spartans. These are not Spartans like Chief. They're not hard edged Spartan twos. Uh, because well, they're Spartan threes. They're younger, they're less experienced, they have less grit, less dedication, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Although that's not accurate, but you know what I mean. Than Master Chief and the other Spartan 2s would. Except for the one problem with that, George is also a Spartan 2, and George has probably has his helmet off more than any other character in the game.
I don't think it's ever on actually.
I've only really seen it. I think there's only one cutscene, one or two cutscenes in the whole game where we actually see his helmet on. Now, obviously, that's an exaggeration. I'm sure there are a bunch of. I know there are a bunch of little tiny fucking cutscenes where you see him in the background with his helmet on. But I'm saying there's only like a couple cutscenes where you see him front line and center wearing his helmet.
Yeah.
And obviously, the first one being sword based, and the last one being where he takes off his helmet to sacrifice himself for the long night of Solace to take down that ship, which is also named the Long Night of Solace. And boy, I got issues with that ship, with that fucking bullshit. But we'll talk about that at another time. Uh,
I mean,
every character pretty much just could have been done just a little better.
yeah. And let's just get off that topic for a minute because we've been yapping about the characters for all now. I mean, I think the big thing about Reach 2, honestly, is that it fucks up the lore, and Bungie just had no respect for the extended universe. He had no respect. They had no respect for any of the universe, even their own games, because Halo Reach honestly does not make very much sense. I don't think personally, unless like with no context of anything. Like if you're just playing the games, if I'm playing the games, if I'm a normie who's just playing one, two, and three in this 2010, I haven't read any of the books. I don't know the fucking any of the lore aside from the first three games. I play Halo Reach. It's just weird. It doesn't. It's kind of confusing. Not gonna lie to you. Like you're aware of Reach being a thing. They mentioned Reach a couple times in Halo 1 and 2. But it's kind of like in a passing line. They don't really go into it, and I feel like people know what the fuck Reach is and what's going on. It just doesn't feel. It just feels weird. Chief. It should have been Chief. All right. It should have been Chief. Okay. That, in my opinion, it should have been Chief. It should have been Chief and Blue Team. It should have been like the Fall
Now that
Reach
is,
novel, in my
I
opinion.
must say that is an opinion where I differ, because I do believe choosing Noble Team, choosing a group of Spartan threes for Halo Reach was a great idea, but I believe their execution of it was terrible.
I just don't like the fucking. I don't like Noble Six. I really don't. I think Noble
No, I don't
Six
like him either.
is completely bullshit. And yeah, I get it. Oh, they want to make your Spartan games come first before lore. Obviously, you want gameplay, you want, whatever. The Bungie wanted to go out with a bang, and they wanted to go out with a character that's just like you, pretty much, or literally, it's you. I mean, just like you. It is you, right? But it doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. And I don't mind that idea in theory, but in practice, it didn't work because if they had a Spartan just that's just like you, and that's cool and all, because we already role play as our Spartans in the multiplayer, obviously, but having all this lore reason behind him and making him like basically like as fucking he's like Master Chief pretty much. He's as tough as him. What is the fucking I
Yeah,
cannot
this made up hyper lethal bullshit.
thank you. I'm blanking tonight on some of these phrases, but yeah, hyper lethal is one of the big things. Like, man, there's like a couple hyper lethal Spartans in the world, and it's like, yes, this person, some chief and
Every time I
Noble
see it,
Six.
every time I see that term, I cringe. I physically cringe because it's just another way for them to fucking say, "Oh, he's so badass." I just give him. You don't need to be hyper lethal to be a badass. You
That's
could
what
just be a skilled Spartan too.
see.
Not a skilled Spartan too. You could just be a skilled Spartan.
My thing is I wish they would
Chief's
have
whole.
not to interrupt you here, but sorry, but I say
Yeah, go ahead.
exactly what I was trying to get at is that like I don't necessarily mind the idea of having a game focus on your Spartan. All right, it's you, right? Cool. They don't have any personality because it's you playing as it. That's your, the person is you. But making him this big, like lore, hyper lethal, like fan fiction, insert self insert. I don't know. I just don't. I think it just doesn't execute well. I think it'd be better if they let us fucking make the story up. Like what if so for example, I could think he's hyper lethal in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Some else might think that he was a fucking garbage man turned Spartan, for example,
Yeah.
right? But no, Bungie's
Yeah.
like, he's hyper lethal. He's very strong. It just feels like desperate to placate to the audience. Like, you're really
Oh
strong. How
yeah, and then
strong you are. It's like, let me
after a
role
Halo
play.
Reach came out, they also Bungie also did put out a bunch of Waypoint articles expanding on pretty much every character, because I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they also knew they didn't do good expand working on the characters that they made. But one of the things they did was they added a ton of lore shit. They made a ton of lore articles for Noble Six, for your Spartan B, blah 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 blah, whatever his number was. But the problem is, at that point, why not just make him his own character? Like, why have him be our character? Like, just give him the base, like default Mark 5B. Give him like the cat shoulder pads, and give him that little forehead up armor attachment. Paint his armor black or paint his armor olive, whatever you want, and then that's Noble Six. That's it. And then the Spartan we have in multiplayer, that's our Spartan. But why do you need to add? But what's the point of adding all these extra character and lore bits if it's supposed to be us?
That's what I mean
At
is
that
that
point, you're
it's
writing the story for us.
yeah, it's supposed to be us role playing, and that's why like, and I hate bringing it up again because I mean I love Cyberpunk, but but basically it's kind of like how Cyberpunk is an RPG role playing game technically, but it also isn't because your character, even though you make the design for the character, whatever, that character has a name. And the character has a story set in stone and a voice actor. It's not like a Bethesda game like Skyrim where you make up everything, like, and you have no backstory. Like
Yeah,
V
you
has a
have your own
backstory.
backstory.
That's what they're trying to do, I feel like, with Noble Six is make him. But Noble Six doesn't have a definitive. In the game, Noble Six is almost like a Skyrim character where there is no personality to it. There's nothing. Uh, so it's not like Cyberpunk where there's all this voice act. It's just kind of like he's there. But then they're like, yeah, like you said, they make up all this lore around him, and it's like they wanted the best of both worlds. It feels like, and I don't know, it didn't work like I think that they wanted it to. I like you got to fully commit to the idea if you're gonna do it. I feel like I mean
Yeah.
they're very similar characters, but they're not. But like I think that they executed it really well with Rookie. Not gonna lie to you in ODST.
Yeah, rookies very well. I know rookie was done very well because he is a blank slate. Yes, I am aware that we did get more information on him. We did get a little backstory from him for him
But it was very brief though. I
in ba-
believe.
yeah. I'm pretty sure overall we got his name. We got his name and we got his where he's from, but I'm from what I remember about New Blood or Bad Blood, whatever. I'm pretty sure it was New Blood.
Taylor Swift's Bad Blood.
No, the book centered around fucking Buck. Okay, Buck
Oh,
becoming a
Buck.
Spartan. It was either New Blood or Bad Blood. I hate that I can't remember the name off the top of my head because it's literally one of my favorite Halo books. But in that book, we did get a bit of information
What if it was
on
Wolfenstein Old Blood?
no,
I never played that game.
no, we don't talk about that game.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. Uh,
No, we have no recollection of Old Blood. Anyway, we did get a little information on the rookie. We did get a little information on his backstory, and we did, and I do know his name is listed in the wiki, but it's not in. I'm pretty sure it's not listed in the book.
yeah.
Uh, but yeah, other than that, we don't. As far as I know anyway, he doesn't. We don't know anything else about him. So from there, he's almost a perfect blank slate. Like yeah, the only thing we know about the rookie, other than well, I can't reiterate. We're trying to record. I'm trying to clean up my words, but one of the few things set in stone about him is that he's a man, and that's the only thing. Not that that affects anything, but that is one of the things you could change about Noble Six. But
So
again,
you're canceled, buddy.
no. But again,
Fucking
what is the
pronouns.
point? pronouns in Halo Reach,
They're eating the
Halo
dogs.
going woke.
They're eating the they're they're eating the moas.
Yeah, turn the Moas gay. I mean, we just keep going back to the point because no matter what, I'm pretty sure. Oops, I'm pretty sure.
Oops.
Man, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I am pretty sure Noble Six is canonically male. I,
Yeah, he is.
I hate that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's canonically
Because it
male.
just all ties in. What is the point? You know, what is the point of doing all this? Of adding all this lore if it's supposed to be a blank slate? Yeah, I know John. I know Master Chief was also originally supposed to be a blank slate, but he was expanded on in the books in the Fall of Reach, which came out. Which yes, I know a rough copy of it came out a month before Combat Evolved. A very rough copy, and they fucking
Me in the morning after I drink my coffee and take a
a really
shit.
rough sip of
My
coffee.
really rough coffee just came out my ass.
He he was been
We miss
expanded
him.
on. He's been expanded on greatly in the games. They've greatly expanded on his characters in the book.
Two autists talking to each
He's
other.
not a blank slate anymore.
I, for me, looking at the Halo trilogy or the Bungie Halo games and looking at like Destiny, it feels like Bungie just really did not like writing characters. Like they really were just lazy. I mean, Chief is good by design, and I like him in the OG games, but it's almost like the fact that their main characters in all other games are just like Chief, Noble Six, and Rookie are all just blank slate characters. It's kind of like I don't know, like they just didn't want to write a main character. Arbiter has more fucking development than all the main characters, including Chief. Arbiter has more backstory than Chief does in the OG Halo trilogy when you think about it. Actually, Chief
Yeah,
has no backstory in the OG Halo trilogy. That's my issue. 2 would reach is that,
Well, unless you read the book.
yeah, that's what I mean though. It's not in the games until later. Of course, later it expands on it. Some of Chief's backstory and his angst, but like for me, nobody knows who the fuck Chief is except for being a cool guy. And again, they do now. But in the context of it being 2010, 15 years ago, which is crazy that 2010 was 15 years ago. But uh,
Oh, don't get me started.
the context of it being back then is that um, nobody knows Chief's backstory. We know more about Arbiter's backstory than we know about Chief's backstory at that point in time. All right. So it'd be perfect to make a game like Halo Reach. If you're gonna do a game like Halo Reach, I don't know, why wouldn't you just focus on Chief? I think it was set up perfectly, his backstory and everything like that. It could have been great.
Well, because if they were to do that, again, this is kind of one of the reasons why our opinions differ on this. Because if they were to do that, half the game, a good chunk of the game, would have been a very long cutscene showing Chief's childhood in the Spartan program.
You don't have
And
to
that's
do
if
it.
they follow the
You,
Fall of
you
Reach
can do it in a
book.
montage. Look at Cyberpunk.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can do it in a
Cyberpunk,
cyberpunk style
Cyberpunk
montage,
montage.
which would be really.
Jackie and V's fucking escapades in 6 months within like 60 seconds. The montage was.
Yes, I know. Yes, you're right. You're right about that.
They don't have to
But
show his childhood.
the thing I'm trying to get to is Chief was not on Reach during the Fall of Reach. He was basically in the middle of a space battle.
I mean,
Like
but
he
they
was
can
on
tilt the
a.
lore though. Like Bungie's
Well,
never done
yeah,
that
either.
before.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that either way, uh, the lore trying to depict the Fall of Reach either through Chief's eyes is going to break the lore. Either the way they have it or the way they did it with Chief is going to break the lore.
They already broke the lore,
So what I'm yes. So what I'm thinking they should have
regardless.
done. What I'm thinking they should have done is they should have either stuck to the Noble team, stuck to the Spartan threes, or they should have
Made a different game.
done a different Spartan two.
Or it's made a different
It
game.
did. We did. It could have. Yeah, it could have just been a different game, or it could have been
it could have been.
depicting.
It could have
Could
been.
have just been a whole different game.
Could have been Sergeant
We could have
Johnson's
gotten Halo
16.
4. Remember, guys, we could have gotten Halo 4, but we got Halo Reach.
Remember, guys, we could have got
Anyway,
Sergeant Johnson's fucking that elite at the end of Halo 1. They cut the sex scene out. I
and
want
we
to see
could have gotten the
re-
Sangusi.
release the sex scene cut.
We could have gotten the canonical Sangusi.
Taylor's version. I will release the new cut. Halo 1 Sangusi edition.
Limited edition GameStop Sangusi.
Dude, I fucking hate GameStop.
Don't get me started on GameStop. I literally went on a fucking GameStop tirade in a random YouTube comment section the other day, earlier today.
Really?
Yeah, but
Why? Was someone defending GameStop?
No, somebody was asking why people don't buy from GameStop.
Oh.
And I basically just told them about our issues with GameStop when simply just trying to buy shit,
They
when
bother
simply
you?
yeah,
I mean, that's their job,
like how
I guess,
when
but fuck.
when we wanted to buy our Nintendo Switches, they had us both try to buy them from a bundle. I bought mine from a bundle. But you didn't want the game that was included in that bundle, so you needed to go to like a whole different store, and they gave you the game Switch, no problem.
Yeah, well, the bundle was they. The issue with that is like some Switch bundles are like, you know, $300 with the game as well, but then GameStop upcharges that bitch to like $400 or more because it has fucking Mario Kart 8 in a game that was released 10 years ago. They're like, oh, here you go. And I don't know, as I said, fuck that. I went to Walmart is, if you're gonna get games, here's public service announcement into this fucking video here, discussion. But if you want to get games or anything like that, go to Walmart. All right. I know I don't like Walmart. I hate on Walmart a lot. We all hate on Walmart. It's very trashy. All right. But go jump in the pool with the rednecks for a couple minutes a day, or whenever you want to go buy a game, and go see
Jump in the
Wal,
ball pit.
go see Florida Man, go see go see the giant fat ladies in their big ass scooters. Don't get Indiana Jones swallowed by them in the clearance aisle like I almost did. Uh, but go there because they have really good they don't really upsell anything. Everything's like the base price. Like GameStop upsell shit and they bundle shit. Like they zip tie games to fucking like if you go buy a PS5 at GameStop, they'll zip tie God of War to a fucking there won't even be it won't even be a bundle. Like it's not bundled like with the console like they usually are. They'll take the PS5, the fucking box to it, and they'll zip tie a game to it, like God of War or some shit. And they'll charge you an extra $100 for it. I'm not even kidding you. I've seen that happen before. I'm not lying to you. It's fucking insane. Walmart just sells them how they are, straight up, and they have good games. Like it's go to Walmart. That's where you should go. All right. Public service announcement or Best
All
Buy.
right, all right, guys, we're getting. All right, everyone. So we went a little off topic, but anyway, uh, the way I personally would have done Reach is what I would have done is I would have either depicted the fall of Reach entirely through the eyes of the Spartan 3 program. You know, the Spartan 3s, uh, not the way Noble 6 would do it, but instead, like, over the course of a day, like a single day, because that's how long it took to fall in the books. I would have had it take place over the course of a single day. We start out, investigating reports of odd activity, relay stations down. We go there. Oh, little Covenant attack. We warn the UNSC. We warn everyone. The Covenant's on reach. Blah 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 blah. We go back to Sword Base. Sword Base goes under attack, and then it just keeps escalating from there. Like obviously the game would be rearranged. Uh, the story would be rearranged. We would still see the same similar areas that we already see in the game, but it would be in a different order. And over time, the sky would get more orange. The game would get darker. We would get dustier, because basically during the entire Battle of Reach itself, the Covenant was already fucking glassing it. The Covenant was so vicious and thorough on Reach that once the Supermat guns fell, the defense for the planet, once those went down, the Covenant started glassing the entire planet. At that point, the battle was lost, and
Yeah.
we could see that. We could see how overwhelming the Covenant was.
The
Basically, during the
governments.
Battle of yeah,
Don't trust the governments.
the prophets are lying to us. Anyway, uh, now that was a very sloppy retelling of how I would do it. But there's a more drastic way you could
Well,
do
we're
it,
not
which is
writers,
similar
so
to how
I mean, I am, I
yeah,
guess, but not technically.
which is similar to how Mr. Ego here is saying we could do it from the Chiefs or the Spartan 2's perspective, which from there we could actually start out not on Reach, but on a battle that we see in the books called the Battle for Chai Seti 4, if I remember that name correctly, which actually predates the fall of Reach by only a few weeks. I think it was in like late July, and Reach was attacked in obviously late August, so it's about a month apart. But that will just help. Like we could start out playing as John, like that would introduce our character, and then from there, then we may get assigned to we may get assigned to a whole different Spartan unit, or from there we could basically pull an ODST, and we could jump between multiple Spartan perspectives during the Fall of Reach, because basically during the Battle of Reach, uh, there basically every single Spartan 2, I think there's about 30 at the time, uh, we're all loaded up on the Pillar of Autumn, and they're about to go embark on a mission to capture a prophet. And then they learned Reach was under attack, and so they turned around and went back to Reach and participated in the battle. And then from there, all the Spartans except for Chief, Linda, and another Spartan. They needed to pretty much every single Spartan needed to leave the Pillar of Autumn and go down to Reach to defend the generators that were powering its orbital defense cannons. The orbital mag guns that were still that we see in Halo 2.
Yeah.
Same basic weapons above Earth, except above Reach. And so, and basically, on the way down, those Spartans, all like 26 or 24 of those Spartans, basically got shot out of their sky. Their Pelican got shot out of the sky, and it created this big chaotic, you know, dissension, sorry, to the planet. And so we could see from there, after we all crash, we could do like an ODST style thing where basically all seeing from different Spartans' perspective. Like there were, if I remember correctly, there were 3 or 4 main groups of Spartan 2s assigned to defend certain areas or operate in certain missions. And so we could basically jump around from those areas until basically what we would do is at this point I'd be retelling the book. I'm retelling the book. That's basically what I'm saying. We would be jumping around from different characters' perspectives until we eventually reunite with Master Chief and Cortana, which would be almost after uh Halo Combat Evolved, which would be like directly after, because after Combat Evolved, they return to Reach to try to find something. I can't remember what, but that's pretty much the whole.
And it'd be a good way to bridge the gap because, Halo
Yeah,
Halo 3 and 2 are connected because basically Halo 3 takes place directly after Halo 2. Like you see Chief falling from the sky and it's right away. You just go right into it. Um, Meanwhile, Halo 2 takes place like you're just somewhere completely else. That'd be cool if it was connected. But I was thinking if they did depict like Chief's backstory like in a montage, it'd be cool if they did it like in like a first person view
yeah,
with no dialogue from Chief. Just do a first person view because you don't want to see Chief's face. Obviously, that's part of his character is not having his face, but just do a first person view depicted like that. Do a montage, kind of like Cyberpunk did with where how your V in first person doing shit. And I don't know, that'd be a cool idea. But I guess it would be kind of a retread of the face first in the hell and ODST when you are first person in that one. I
well, I mean,
mean,
it would be a retread, but it also provides some very, very crucial context to the character, to the Halo universe as a whole, which is context that we still technically have not gotten until Infinite. Hey, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Hold on.
give me the
Sorry.
thing.
Pretty much. I don't think until Infinite, and I'm sure. I bet somebody in the comment will correct me in some way. But Infinite was the first one. Was the first game that really told us or explained to us the backstory of Chief. It's very simplified. It was very very broken up, but it still gave us the overall backstory of the characters. It told us about the Spartan 2 program. It told us about uh, Subject 117. Blah blah blah. Like obviously we know all that now, but we haven't really. I don't know what else I could say. If you know the books, you know about the Spartan 2 program.
Yeah,
Or
I'm just speaking from like a general. See, the difference between me and you is that and I think it's really fun about this conversation, even though we have been rambling a little bit tonight.
we've been doing a lot of yapping.
of which I'm sure I'll get lots of comments about yapping and all our ums and uhs and all of our likes and all of our you knows.
We're
But
doing this without a script. We're doing this
it's off the cuff, all right. I
without
thought it'd
any
be
prep.
I thought it'd be fun to have it more be real in our opinions and have us have no prep
Should probably
because
put this in the front of the video.
my videos have no prep. If you watch my videos, all my videos don't have. I have notes sometimes, but most of my videos aren't like scripted. You can tell by how I
That's true.
talk. All right. So the audience doesn't care, but I'll probably put some in the front of this. I'm gonna cut some of this shit out, but like you sneezing. But anyways, what I like about us two is that you are more. I am more the normie audience. I love Halo and I love the lore of Halo, but I'm not like totally, immersed in the lore. Because a lot of the things you just said to me didn't even fucking register. Like, because I haven't read the books in a long time, and my brain is just filled with so many other things at the moment that aren't like Halo lore. I don't really have it stored in there. So I'm kind of like the Halo normie perspective. I'm the general audience person. Meanwhile, you're the kind of more lore person, expert, which I think is really cool. It kind of like contrasts very well. I don't. All of my choices, all of my opinions about Halo Reach and how it can be handled is me trying to handle it from like a general audience perspective about not knowing what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
I don't really think that. Maybe this is a hot take. I don't really think that Halo Reach is the. You should not play Halo Reach first. Don't play Halo Reach. I don't think you should. People, if you have never played Halo before and you're gonna play all the games, don't play them in chronological order. Play them in release order. Because certain
Yes.
games like Halo Wars or Halo Reach don't make any fucking sense unless you play them. Play the original trilogy for play 1, 2, 3, and then play Reach afterwards. I think that's how you should play
Halo
it.
Wars,
There's people
both
that
Halo
like,
Wars and Halo Reach especially, require you to basically know the previous context of the games, so you know what's going on.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's obvious.
people there. I've seen people on the Halo subreddit and people on Twitter and whatever like tell people you should play the games. People that have not played Halo before that they should play the games in chronological order of the story goes. So you should play Reach first. And they don't really include Halo Wars because that's an RTS. But when it comes down to the mainline games or the games that are part of like the FPS games, they're always like, "Oh, play Reach first and then play Halo One." I'm like, that's a terrible idea. That's a terrible introduction. You should do one first, no matter what.
If you played Halo Reach first and then played Halo 1, you would have no idea what's going on other than you would recognize the Pillar of Autumn.
And you would recognize Captain Keyes being like, "Reach fell" or whatever the fuck he says in the. I can't remember his first. He says it in the
Yeah,
first
you would recognize the
record.
passing line about Reach.
The only
Other than
line in
that,
the game about Reach. They don't talk about anything else. I don't think they talk about. They don't talk about Noble Team or Blue Team or nobody in that game.
yeah,
They
all
only.
they say is that this war has enough dead heroes and we flew all the way here from Reach.
That's all
That's
you
all.
know.
It's a pretty big reach. I'll see myself out.
My, we're talking about the lore here, and a lot of people probably can complain about that too. I'm going to talk more aspects of the game. For me, Halo Reach's biggest problems are honestly it's just the campaign. I love the custom games Halo Reach, and I would say when it comes down to
We still play Halo Reach custom games to this day.
we'll briefly talk. I'm just gonna go over some of this shit briefly. I don't want to talk because we already are running over time, but I wanted to quickly just mention it just so we're not too redundant. Other aspects of the game that kind of makes the game lower on the tier of the Halo games, even though it's still I like it a lot, but I think it's definitely for me in my list of my favorites. It's not top, but uh, I think the multiplayer. Well, first I mentioned the gameplay earlier. How do you feel about the gameplay in Reach? First things first. What's your opinion on it? Because I mentioned how I'm not really a huge fan of it, but
Well, I think I speak for fucking everyone in this universe when I say I hate the Bloom. I think the
was a terrible idea.
Bloom was a terrible idea that literally makes me wince every time I have the idea to play normal Halo multiplayer because I just can't. I never know if I'm doing something wrong, but it's just times where it almost feels like I'm playing Morrowind, where it's like a roll of the dice.
Yeah. No, it
But
really is.
yeah, like all my shots can connect. But another guy's shots, he could have started shooting me first, but like only 3 of his like 19 shots would connect, and then I would win that fight. But I feel like that happens to me more often than not. But that's beside the point. Bloom, I don't like. Um, armor abilities, I still don't like.
They were very
I
contentious
still,
when the game came out. I remember the reaction armor abilities was not great. A lot of people don't understand that the modern Halo audience, a lot of these kids who grew up on, a lot of these kids who grew up on Reach, and I did too technically, but a lot of kids that like that was their first Halo game they played, they romanticized the gameplay. But when the game came out, people that were just playing the game to play the original trilogy, our abilities and sprint and stuff like that, they were a huge issue with people had a big issue with them. There's certain people that still have issues with them now, especially sprint when it comes to Halo Reach. Like it's a big turning point in the franchise. That's when Halo became modern Halo was Reach gameplay wise. So it's definitely like a big turning point for the whole franchise, pretty much.
the way I see it is, I think if they were going to add sprint, if they were going to add sprint,
Happens a lot, folks.
shut up,
Impressed it only happened once in this whole hour conversation.
shut up. If they're going to add sprint, they should have gone all in. Because the ability to take off sprint, I get it's like a tactical thing, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't help at all. I know in Halo 4, a lot of people have problem with, where you could sprint and use an armor ability, and while somebody's shooting at you, your shields you can run away, and your shields will recharge while you run away. And they fixed that in Halo 5, where if you get shot, you stopped running. Uh, and some might say that was the intention for sprints in Halo Reach, where you're more mobile, so you can run around a lot more. You can run to cover in Halo Reach and recharge your shields. But the problem is, even the slightest bit of damage you receive while sprinting uh, prevents you from sprinting.
Yeah.
So so it almost in almost every firefight, the whole point of sprint is just negated.
Yeah.
And of course, there's Bloom again. But
Well,
the way I see it, they should have done basically what they did in Halo 4, where they had some armor abilities, but they also had sprint built into the game.
I think that when it comes down to it, Halo 5, when they consolidated, I mean, Halo 5 doesn't have any jetpack or shit like that, but they have it their own Spartan abilities where you can ground pound and stuff like that and use the thruster. And I think that's a great idea is to consolidate all these. Everyone's on the same playing field. Which I know that's something to stupid because everyone has access to all their armor abilities. You know, if you have the class system or whatever, you can anyone can pick. There could be two people that have a jetpack. It's not like one person. It's not like Overwatch where only one person can be fucking diva or whatever. You know, you can grab up anything. But it just feels like a piece of shit. I just don't like the idea of having these different abilities that people can be on different. I like that Halo 5 has it where everyone's on the same playing field and it's more about
Yes.
skill and how you use your armor abilities. And then it is like, oh, someone chose jetpack, so now suddenly they're better than you or whatever. Even jetpacks fucked ass. Um, Aside from gameplay, I don't know. I mean, custom. I didn't really play much of the multiplayer itself in Halo Reach, like the online multiplayer. Aside from Griffball, where I where I ranked up. That's where everyone ranked up. Nostalgia points, you know.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe if you remember uh, playing Griffball back in the day to get to Inheritor. I never got to Inheritor. I got to Nova, but I remember like time. You wouldn't even do anything. Everyone would just like hang out. You hang out with the enemy team and not kill anybody. That was the worst. I
Yeah.
always would spawn killed. Fucking hated that shit. When they would spawn kill me, piss me off. They would
No,
crouch in your
that would
body.
just be leaving game bullshit.
The worst part was when they would like it's not worse things being spawn kill, but when you all the team, everyone would team up because in Halo Reach, for context, in Halo Reach and Griffball, you If you played Griffball, and you get more XP if the game went on longer than if it ended quicker. The people would intentionally, to get XP, they intentionally would drag the game out by not killing each other, not scoring points. So you would just stand around for like 5 minutes each round and just run the timer out. And people would just hang out, whatever, crouching each other. But there was like people that would like go in as like a couple, and they would like sit in the corner
Oh,
and like rub their
sorry.
rub their fucking
Oh
helmets
my
together.
god. Halo cybering.
Halo Cybering, as I called it. I coined the term, Halo Cybering. They would do that shit. And it was crazy, man. I was like, it pissed me off. I wanted to kill them. For me, it provoked me because I wanted to kill them, and then I would cause the game to like go into chaos because I would kill the Halo Cyber.
Because everyone would start white knighting for the fucking
That's a separate.
for the king and queen.
That's a separate discussion that we should go into in a different time. I think it'd be fantastic. But anyways, aside from the gameplay and the campaign, I like Halo Reach. Custom games are good. Multiplayer is okay, but I do think the multiplayer is lowering. I think multiplayer in Halo Reach is worse than Halo 4's multiplayer. Hot take. I think it's worse than Halo 5's. I think it's worse than Halo 3's and Halo 2's, and honestly, maybe even Infinite.
Now, I must be completely honest. I personally believe Halo Infinite's multiplayer, its gameplay wise, is the perfect blend between Halo 5's I won't say Halo 5, more like Halo
You
4's
sure
armor
watch Reverse
abilities.
Synth's video on Halo is Dead, and he talks about how the
Bitch, you're reverse sim.
dude. You should go talk. You should watch my Halo is.
Are you advertising your own video? I mean, of course you are, but
Like and subscribe.
see what I mean, Mr. Ego?
I would say
Anyway,
I don't want to be redundant, but if you want to hear my thoughts, anyone watching this, go and watch my Halo is Dead video, and I talk more about my feelings about Halo. I basically talk about my feelings about Halo Infinite and the Halo Infinite's gameplay and stuff like that. And but just to retrace my steps here, I just want to say real quickly, I think Halo Infinite doesn't work. Like I think the gameplay is it tries to blend classic Halo and modern Halo, and it ends up with nothing. For me, it ends up being nothing. It ends up not being classic Halo, ends up not being modern Halo, and it's just kind of blobby there. I think that it actually is too much like modern Halo. When at this point, they really should have just, if they're gonna make a game, if they're gonna do a game that harkens back to classic Halo, they should have went all in on it. Otherwise, they should have just made it went all in on a modern Halo. Halo 5's gameplay was perfect. The only issue with Halo 5 was the art style, and of course there's other issues too. But the art style was the main contentious thought about Halo 5, is that art style looked like fucking dog shit. But if Halo Infinite had Halo 5 gameplay with the Halo Infinite art style, it would have been perfect. And of course, if it didn't release 6 years after and released, bare bones and broken, again, watch the Halo is Dead video for more information on Halo Infinite. This is a Halo Reach video. But anyways, we're going way over time tonight. But I just wanted us to sit down and talk about it because I think that there needed to be some hate towards Hillary Reach. Not that this video or discussion is like a reaction bait, even though it kind of is, but it's more like I just think that there needs to be a conversation out there about Hillary Reach because Hillary Reach has been so romanticized lately when it comes to people making videos
Halo
about it.
Reach has it's been so overblown and so over exaggerated
Yeah.
by the fandom and especially by the people that grew up with it, and no one's actually taken the time to really look back and consider what flaws it may have.
I mean, I think that there's maybe some opinions out there, little ones, but not popular ones, unfortunately. And I think that's the
No, they're
issue
definitely not
of
popular
character
ones.
of YouTubers like the Act Man, for example, and people like that who have these videos being like, "Halo Reach is awesome," and they just don't have any. I've watched these videos, and there's not a lot of
The
criticism in
Patriot
there.
Act, man.
Yeah, the Patriot Act Man or Hidden Necrophilia, the Ball Sacked Man, they don't have any Halo follower. They don't have any. It just feels popular opinion and a Halo subreddit. Anytime you talk about Reach online, even there's memes about Reach, like remember Reach memes, and people are like, "Oh my God, Halo Reach is perfect. It's perfect." And whenever you talk bad about it, anything bad about it, people like jump on you. It's crazy. I've never seen a game. There's more popular games out there, like GTA 5 and Minecraft and like Skyrim, And there's like millions of videos about how GTA 5 is not good, GTA Online is not good, and and all these opinions about how Skyrim is boring and not good, and how Minecraft's boring and not good. And but there's no like general discussion about Halo Reach not being great. And I don't think it's the worst game of all time. Again, I like it. I still play it now. We played custom games a couple weeks ago. I have clips of me playing it. I love Halo Reach, but there's a lot of flaws in it. I think that there needs to be discussion out there, and I hope that this video, if it does do anything, I hope that
It won't.
whether you
It'll just piss people off.
whether you disagree with our opinions and or think we're yapping or whatever, or think we're stupid, I want it to promote discussion about Reach and about its flaws because I think that there needs to be more discussion out there about it. And it's not this huge, ancient, beautiful artifact, this ancient butter churn we got to pick up and put in a museum and admire because there's a lot of cracks in it that need to be talked about too. In any media, that's for anything. Not there's nothing out there is perfect, obviously, even the games that are considered perfect. Uh, but I just think it needs. I wanted us to give kind of a voice to the people that don't like Reach and just kind of have it out there because I think it's just good to have a different opinion. Uh, that's how I think. That's what I wanted to do with this video. Uh, but yes, we are going over time. But please, uh,
I do think at some point, and maybe in the near future or in the far future, depending on how we're feeling, we may revisit this topic in a much cleaner way. But this is kind of just an impromptu. We wanted to get this off our chest type thing.
I had already had went in on when my Halo is Dead video I made. I went in on Infinite and Modern Halo. So I know I'll have some comments and be like, blah 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 blah. If you want it, I have. I don't like Halo Infinite. I think it's bad. If you want, here's my deal: is this video is about Reach, most importantly, even though we went off topic a little bit. So all discussion I want to be about Reach. I don't want to hear any opinions being like, well, compared to Halo 5 and 4, all right, because motherfucker, I talked about those games and their flaws. I talked about how bad Halo Infinite is in the Halo's Dead video. I already went over it. So if you want to, I know I'm self-promoting here, but it's just it's for context-wise, if you want to hear my opinions on the modern Halo games, 3 for 3's Halo games, go watch that video. It's 18 minutes of me yapping about the Halo 4, 5, and Infinite. And that'll give you context there. This is about Halo Reach and the flaws in it, most importantly, and of course, how great Walmart is compared to GameStop. Uh, and not prolapsing anuses. That is in the Space Marines 2 video, which will be
What
out
the fuck?
eventually here when I put the Space Marines 2 video out. You'll get
Nice.
that's
Tyrannosaurus.
that I am I am foreshadowing a joke in a
But
separate
we've
video.
already said we've gone through the fucking Space Marine
But
game.
I never told them I got a video. It's coming out. I
Oh, that's true.
that I'm editing together right now. Uh, I I mean, we talked about revisiting this in a cleaner way, but I'm just gonna cut a lot of this shit, like us rambling. Not all of us rambling, but I'll
Yeah, but
cut.
I still think we should revisit it with actual points.
I don't think so. That's just redundant. We'll just be talking again about the same thing. About like, it doesn't matter. We'll be even with notes. We're gonna still fumble our lines. You
Well, yeah,
know,
we'll still fumble our lines, but we'll actually cover parts that I wanted to cover.
we can.
Like there's a big part about that I wanted to talk about how we could have at least gotten some dialogue hinting at the actual characters' personalities or and their backstory, and that would have been a good way to show the general audience the actual backstory of the Spartan 3 program that they all participated in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, here I'm gonna do the outro real quick and mention something real quick. So we discussed a lot of stuff today, whether it be on topic or off topic, and we definitely yapped for way too long. We definitely stumble over our sentences a lot. Hopefully in the official upload of this, you will hear less of our yapping. The video will be saved to my Twitch, so if you guys want to watch the full uncut the whole uncut discussion, which you probably don't want to because it's going to be really agonizing all the as we say. But what I want to do is get this video out there. I want to hopefully have people watch it, and I want to get opinions from people. That's what I want to get. Opinions from people. And then
Yes, we want opinions.
I would love to revisit this topic in the near future, like you had mentioned before, uh, and talk about things we went over where we missed, I mean, and but also take into account the criticism or people in the comments, their opinions too. And we can read over comments and talk about what their feelings about Hillary Reach are and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I think it'd be
I'm
really
all for
cool
that.
to open. Right now I'm trying to open a discussion here, which is why I didn't want to do a scripted video with notes.
Just straight bashing.
I don't want to do a scripted video with notes because most people don't have a scripted video with notes. I want it to be like a vibe where we're just coming up with shit on top of our heads because my opinion of our reach, I didn't want it to be like a, well, actually, like by the numbers. I think it'd just be better if it was off the cuff, even though it is sloppy. It comes off as sloppy. I think that it just is more real that way. But I guess we'll see how the video does. People in the comments being like, I can't listen to this shit. It's so bad. Well,
We are really, I cannot stress this enough. We are really hoping to gauge other people's opinions on this, so we have an actual open discussion on this topic,
all right,
so we can hear.
and please don't fucking go in the comments and talk about us yapping, okay? I have had many comments on my videos on TikTok and my videos on my YouTube channel of people being like, stop yapping so much. Stop. Bitch, I am a YouTuber who discusses shit. All my videos are basically me discussing stuff, aside from a couple videos like the Overwatch one where I'm actually playing the game and commentating over it. Most of my videos are discussions. It's me yapping for 20 minutes. All right. So if you don't like me yapping, go somewhere else. Okay? I hate this shit. I get so many comments like, you yap a lot. Yapper, yapper. I'm yapping right now about yapping. The criticism about yapping. All right? Fuck you. All right? You yap too. I bet you do.
We all yap.
I yap all the fuck. You know what? Yap
We
yap.
all yap, but only some of us fap.
Well, in secret. Pee-wee's
And on
back
that
in
note,
reality. On that note, it's late. We're gonna just end the video now. But yes, thank you
midnight.
for good night. Hope you have a good rest of your day or night or holiday or whenever the fuck you're watching this. But take care and see you later.